Obviously, we talked about the quarterbacks to open it up. And one of the reasons why the Saints are one of my biggest losers in this draft is that reason exactly. Drafting Tyler Shough at 40 was one of the nastiest picks of the whole draft, in my opinion. Assuming that Shough isn't established as the Saints' full-time starter this year, he'll be 27 at the start of next season. Do you really want a guy to become a full-time starter in his age 27 season, especially with the fact that that second contract will come in his age 30, 31 season? Hell no. So that's my biggest issue with the Saints taking Shough at 40, is it doesn't help them in the long term in terms of finding a franchise guy. And in my opinion, there's not even a guarantee that he beats out a Spencer Rattler, a Jake Haener in camp for that starting job, which is why I said he might not become the full-time starter until the following season. There's no guarantee the Saints are going to be good. And if they're not good, they're going to be drafting early in a very loaded 2026 quarterback class. So if the Saints have a high pick next year, you think they're not going to take another quarterback? Especially in the first round with a name like Arch Manning floating around, considering the Saints haven't drafted a first-round QB since his granddad and Archie Manning. And beyond that, you draft Shough at 40, but what have you done to ensure he is successful, or anybody who takes snaps behind center in New Orleans is successful? Outside of Devin Neal in the 6th round and Moliki in the 7th, the Saints added 0 offensive skill players to a roster simply devoid of them. Olave and Shaheed ended the season on IR. They brought in Brandon Cooks, re-signed Jawan Johnson this offseason, but in a relatively deep skill player draft, especially receiver and running back wise, the Saints didn't make a move on any of those guys. And to me, this boils back to that them taking Shough at 40. They definitely could have had a premium guy. When they took Shough at 40, guys like Trey Harris, Kyle Williams, Harold Fannin Jr., Jack Beck, guys who can be reliable weapons on the offensive side of the ball, were still available when they took Shough. And instead, they took Shough and gave him no weapons. So we'll see how he does. But I was not a big fan of that pick. Not setting your rookie quarterback or really any quarterback in your locker room up for success is one of the main reasons why I have the Saints as losers of this year's NFL draft. Now, yes, the pick of Kelvin Banks with their number 9 overall pick was decent. I say it's decent. However, when talking about drafting Kelvin Banks, we got to look at the history of the Saints when it comes to the draft. This is the 3rd consecutive draft the Saints have spent a premium pick on an offensive tackle. You look at last season, they drafted Fuaga from Oregon State, bumped him out to left tackle. Year before, they drafted Trevor Penning out of Northwestern and slated him at right tackle. The Penning experiment hasn't been good. So to me, I feel like this was a reach to say, hey, we're going to take as many shots as we can at finding a franchise tackle until we hit it. And to me, that's a terrible draft strategy.